that RAF Wittering will lose its Harriers after 40 years. But he also said that the Tornado fleet should be sustained.
Currently, 4 squadrons, around half of the 120 bombers, are based at RAF Marham, with the other half at RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland. Earlier, I spoke to Group Captain Pete Rochelle from RAF Marham to find out his reaction to today's news.
Quite a lot of speculation has been going on over the last 2 to 3 months, and particularly in the last 48 hours. So they're sort of conditioned to think about these issues, expect the unexpected, but they've been quietly confident, and as we speak, they've been delivering on operations, so they've kept focused to the main task at hand. Do
you see your role changing at all?
Sorry, can I see your role changing?
Yeah, do you see your role changing at all? Do you see that you'll take on more responsibilities or downsize slightly?
It depends on whether or not we're asked to do more with less. We will need to review that, obviously, with our upper command to find out what is appropriate. We are committed to operations at this moment in time, and we have a residual contingent capability which we continue to train for.
Now, you could face yet another review in 5 years' time. You may have to go through this whole process again.
Well, clearly, the new 5-year deadlines for strategic defence reviews that have been set, all capabilities will be re-reviewed at that point in time, and the world is very much a world of uncertainty, so who knows what that will bring when we get down the road in 4 years' time.
So does that mean that the future of RAF Marham and its personnel is secure?
What I can say is that obviously our commitment to operations continues. It will continue, and the team will prepare themselves to go out to Afghanistan again, having spent 1 year there already. The Lossiemouth team are just about to take over the role and responsibility. That we will have to now look at rationalisation and where we go from here, but those decisions have not been taken.
So there could be some restructuring in the future?
Yes, some restructuring in the future.
Group Captain, thank you very much. Group Captain Pete Rochelle from RAF Marham speaking to me earlier today. Now, it looked pretty wet where he was. Is it wet where we are? Is it really as cold as you said it was?
Yeah, there are still a few showers around. It is time to crank up your heating because we've got a frosty night for most of us on the way. Having said that, we started...
Well, our political correspondent Andrew Sinclair is at Westminster. We can talk to him about the Defence Review. There are still more questions than answers, really, Andrew, aren't there?
Yeah, very much so, Susie. Today was very much broad-brush stuff. The detail hasn't been worked out yet, and I'm told that'll be worked on in the next 2 or 3 months. So we know the Harriers are going, but we don't know what will happen to RAF Wittering. We know the Tornadoes are safe, but we're also being told that 2 Tornado bases somewhere in the country have got to close. So it's going to be an uncertain few months for various communities across our region. There's also going to be a lot of lobbying by these communities over the next few months. As I speak to you, a number of MPs from the affected areas are meeting with the Defence Secretary, Liam Fox, tonight to argue the case for their constituencies. Among them is the MP for RAF Marham. A short while ago, she told me that she believes the base does have a future.
Well, I think the announcement today showed that, first of all, the Tornado does have a future, that the Prime Minister identified the Tornado as being active in Afghanistan, of supporting our troops, and it will continue in service until it's ultimately replaced by new aircraft. And as RAF Marham is a major Tornado base, I do believe it has a future, yes.
But we're told that 2 more bases will have to close. Why should Marham stay open?
Well, first of all, it has a lot of engineering capacity, as well as being a pure base for the aircraft. It's very, very important for the local economy in Norfolk. It gives a great deal of pride to local people as well. And I'm going to fight as a local MP for the base to stay open.
Elizabeth Truss. And just to add to that, I was talking to the Defence Minister Peter Luff a short while ago. He told me he was reasonably optimistic about Marham's future. So I think the future does look better for Marham than it probably does for Wittering tonight.
Andrew, we've talked a lot about the RAF. Is there anything else in this Defence Review that will affect our region?
Well, let's look at the Army very quickly. No specialisms or regiments are being axed, but we are told that 7,000 jobs will go over the next 5 years. That's bound to have an effect on at least some of the many Army bases in our region. The other interesting thing the Prime Minister said this afternoon was that the government's planning to dispose of unnecessary assets. Well, the MOD is a very large landowner in our region. A lot of that land lies idle. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of that land being sold off in the next few years.
Andrew, of course, another big day tomorrow because it's the comprehensive spending review.
It is, and in many ways I think tomorrow, a bit like today, could be broad brush again. We'll get a lot of broad brush information. The actual details will come through in the weeks and months ahead. But I am being told tonight that there will probably be an announcement tomorrow about road schemes. And of course, in our region, we're very interested in certain road schemes, not least the widening of the A14 around Cambridge, the dualling of the A11 in Suffolk. Will there be an announcement tomorrow? I don't know, but I'm being told we should watch it very carefully.
Andrew, thank you very much. And on Look East tomorrow night, after all the build-up, the government finally reveals just where the cuts will be, as we've just heard. Whether you work in the public sector or you rely on its services, don't miss our special programme. I'll be presenting the programme from Camborne in Cambridgeshire with a panel of guests ready to give their verdict. And don't forget, we'd like to hear how these spending cuts are affecting you. We'd like to hear all your stories, both good and bad. You can call us on 08457 630 630 or email us at look.east@bbc.co.uk.
That's it from us. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.